Welcome to Inner Fire Motivation Story. Subscribe my channel, like and share my video.
When the light returned. In a quiet village near York, there lived a hard-working man named Daniel Whitmore. York was beautiful cobbled streets, golden sunsets, old brick cottages, and the sound of church bells every Sunday morning. But Daniel rarely noticed its beauty. His life was a constant battle. Daniel worked at a small construction company in the nearby city of Leeds. Every morning before sunrise, he would catch the early bus, holding a cup of cheap coffee, hands rough from labor, eyes tired but determined. He worked harder than anyone else. He stayed late. He volunteered for extra shifts. He helped others without being asked. But promotions went to people with connections. Bonuses went to those who flattered the boss. And Daniel? He stayed invisible. At home, his wife, Emma Whitmore, tried to keep his spirits up. Their little daughter, Lily, would run into his arms every evening, her laughter the only light in his dark days. But bills piled up. The landlord raised the rent. One winter, the heating broke, and Daniel couldn't afford repairs. One cold night, after receiving news that yet another promotion had been given to someone else, something inside Daniel cracked. "I'm done believing," he whispered to himself while walking alone through the quiet streets. "I've worked honestly. I've prayed. I've tried. Nothing changes." For the first time in his life, he felt his faith slipping away. That he wandered without direction until he reached the old riverside near the river Ouse. The water was calm, reflecting the pale moonlight. He sat on a wooden bench, staring into the dark. That's when he noticed an elderly man sitting beside him. The man wore a long wool coat and held a polished wooden walking stick. His silver hair shone under the street lamp. His presence felt peaceful, steady. "Rough night?" the old man asked gently. Daniel sighed. "I've done everything right. I work harder than anyone. But it's like God has forgotten me." The old man smiled softly. "Tell me," he said. "Tell me." He said. "Have you ever seen a cathedral being built?" Daniel frowned. "No, I have," the old man replied. "When builders lay the foundation, it looks like nothing. Just digging, dust and stones. People pass by and say, 'What a mess.' But the builders know, the deeper the foundation, the higher the walls can rise." Daniel stayed silent. The old man reached into his coat pocket and handed Daniel a small brass compass. It was old but beautifully crafted. "This," the man said, "doesn't stop storms. It doesn't shorten the journey. It only does one thing. It reminds you where north is." Daniel looked confused. The old man continued. "When you lose faith, you don't lose God. You only lose direction. Keep working. Keep believing. The delay is not denial." Daniel felt something shift inside him. He looked down at the compass, then back up. But the old man was gone. There was no sound of footsteps, no figure walking away, just the quiet river and the steady ticking of the compass in his hand. The next morning, nothing around Daniel had changed. The job was the same. The boss was the same. The problems were the same. But Daniel was not the same. Every time frustration rose, he would take out the compass and whisper, "Stay steady. Stay true. North doesn't move." Weeks later, a severe winter storm hit Leeds. The construction company faced a major structural emergency on one of its projects. The supervisors panicked. Workers argued. Daniel stepped forward. Calm, focused, grounded. He organized the team, stayed through freezing nights, and prevented what could have been a disastrous collapse. For the first time, his dedication wasn't invisible. The company director himself visited the site. Impressed by Daniel's leadership and integrity, he offered him a permanent management position and later, a partnership in a new development project in Manchester. Within a few years, Daniel wasn't just surviving. He was thriving. He bought a warm brick home. Lily had her own room, painted soft lavender. Emma smiled more than she had in years. One evening, standing by his window overlooking the quiet English countryside, Daniel held the brass compass again. He finally understood. The compass wasn't magic. The old man wasn't there to change his life. He was there to change his perspective. Because the moment Daniel almost lost faith was the very moment his life was preparing to change. Moral of the story: hard work builds the foundation. Faith keeps the direction. And when you feel forgotten, you may simply be under construction for something greater.
Bye-bye to Inner Fire Motivation Story. Subscribe my channel, like and share my video.